We're in New Jersey and we are going to look at the history of the Jersey Devil. Is he real or not?
And Sharon putting out the trail cam set up.
Before we get into the video, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Here we are camping in the Pine Barrens, home of the Jersey Devil. The story of the Jersey Devil is a legend, a folklore that goes back 250 years. It's highly unlikely that anyone born and raised in New Jersey doesn't know about the Jersey Devil. They've heard of this story. Born and raised in New Jersey my whole life, I was a little kid walking around in the woods with my father, and I remember being told stories about the Jersey Devil. And I was scared. It was like the story of the boogeyman, and it frightened me. As an adult, I don't believe in the boogeyman. Yet the story of the Jersey Devil fascinates me. The supposed birthplace of the Jersey Devil is Atlantic County, and they actually have a story on their website called The Jersey Devil Fact or Fiction. And this is very well written, so I'm going to read a little bit of this. To understand the legend of the Jersey Devil, you must first understand his birthplace. It is a remote region extending 1,700 square miles across southeastern New Jersey. It is actually a giant aquifer with dense stands of white cedar. Inside, the air is calm, still, and cool. The shadows heavy. The cedar stands throughout the swamp stain the streams red with tannin. One area of stunted trees is called the Pygmy Forest. While many consider it a barren wilderness, 27 varieties of orchids grow there. In the early days, travel was difficult, for the cedar swamps were great obstacles. Some roads are old Indian trails. Others are old stagecoach roads. Some roads are paved, others are sandy. Roads lead to places named Hog Wallow, Double Trouble, Suey Place, and Marianne Furnace. These names date back to colonial times when settlers first came to New Jersey. The birthplace of the Jersey Devil is called the Pine Barrens. This is from a book called The Jersey Devil by James F. McCloy and Ray Miller Jr. The most widely held belief about the origins of the Jersey Devil is that a woman, known only as Mother Leeds, was the unfortunate bearer of a diabolic child. Struggling to survive with 12 children, the hapless woman became distraught when she realized that yet another addition to her overburdened family was on the way. Cursing her hopelessness, she cried out in disgust, "I am tired of children. Let it be a devil."
A short time later, she gave birth to a perfect baby boy. But a few minutes after being born, the baby boy began to transform. He started to sprout fur and feathers all over his body. His head became like a donkey's, with big red eyes. He continued to grow larger in size, with big leathery wings. His hands turned into claws and his feet into hooves. Lastly, he grew a long, forked tail. The once beautiful baby boy started emitting an ungodly scream. The creature then jumped up and flew out of the chimney, making its escape.
Okay, now I know this part of the story seems very unbelievable. But here's the thing. Many people have claimed to have seen this creature. Some of them are very prominent people. One of them was Napoleon Bonaparte's brother. So the Jersey Devil is supposed to have been seen many times in the 1900s. He's blamed for crops not growing, droughts. He said to have killed livestock, and they would hear the screams in the middle of the night. People who lived in the area wouldn't go out when it was dark. The creature was claimed to have boiled streams with his breath to eat the fish. But what I find really fascinating is the description of the Jersey Devil. Listen to how he's described. He had the body of a kangaroo, the head of a dog, the face of a horse, the wings of a bat, the feet of a pig, and a forked tail. Sounds bizarre, huh? If you heard one person tell you that, you may think it's weird. Many people in a wide area described him the same way, which is what I find the most fascinating. Now, could some of this be hysteria? Of course. But it's over a very wide area, and they didn't have like internet and phones and things like that, so I don't know how it would have traveled that fast. So by the early 20th century, in 1909, the week of January 16th to the 23rd, thousands of people saw the devil or his footprints. This was known as Phenomenal Week, and the Jersey Devil came out of his natural habitat and terrorized residents in their homes in the Delaware Valley, not just the Pine Barrens. I'm going to read another excerpt from the Jersey Devil book by James F. McCloy and Ray Miller. The scientific community, in seriousness or in jest, tried to come up with answers to this mysterious phenomenon during late January 1909. Was the creature a prehistoric remnant that somehow survived beyond its time? Or was Mrs. Leeds' infernal 13th child once again on the loose? Scientists offered a variety of empirical explanations. Most agreed that something did exist. The superintendent of the Philadelphia Zoo offered a $10,000 reward for the capture of the Jersey Devil. So that is some of the historical accounts of sightings of the Jersey Devil. Now I would like to talk about the Jersey Devil currently. In 2020, this father and son claims to have taken a picture of the Jersey Devil. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description at the bottom. There's a very interesting story that was done on Monster Quest. I'll put a link to that down below. There's a woman who claims to have seen the devil with her son, and it swooped over him. The interesting thing was when they ran in the house, it was in the winter, there was snow on the roof, so there's footprints. So they actually had these strange looking footprints in the snow on the roof that nobody could identify. In the video where the father and son claimed to have taken a picture of the Jersey Devil, they also took this picture, which is quite odd. It's a headless deer. Now, I'm going to link to that video up here so you can hear exactly what they said about this. We were in the same area. We did find something strange. I thought it was strange. I'm sure there's an explanation for it. But it's this deer carcass, and there's no head, there's no legs.
So the whole hind end, the hips aren't there.
Maybe the devil ate it. Maybe a bird carried them off. But this was in the same road, the same area, where that father and son supposedly saw the Jersey Devil and took that picture of that headless deer. Let us know in the comments what you think of these weird discoveries. I've never camped out here. Rick, you've camped out here, what, about 6 times?
6 or more, yeah.
Yep, with your scout troops?
Primarily with the scout troop, yeah, but I've family camped out here as well.
Yep. Never an issue?
Nope, never an issue.
No. So when we camped there, we had no issues. However, I do think there is an eerie feel in the Pine Barrens. Would you agree with that?
Sometimes. I generally am comfortable out in the woods, but there are times when you can be in a certain spot and there's a slight uneasiness due to the unfamiliarity or just a sensation that something isn't quite normal or quite right. And a lot of times you can't put your finger on it, but you just feel it.
Exactly. Now, one thing about staying in the Pine Barrens,
They have a shooting range or bombing range down at Warren Grove, which isn't that terribly far away, and every once in a while you can hear those planes flying in the area.
and they make a weird noise.
Yeah, they have a Gatling gun or a machine gun type cannon on the front of them that fires very rapidly, and it almost sounds like someone hollering through a hollow pipe.
It's just a different noise than you would hear normally from a plane. So anyway, we camped there. We had no issues except we had a ton of ticks. So I'm from New Jersey. I personally believe that there's something to this story. I don't know exactly what, but I believe there's something to this story. What about you?
I'm from Pennsylvania, and all my life I've heard stories about the boogeyman, Bigfoot, the Jersey Devil, but I don't believe in it. I think that a lot of the Jersey Devil lore was probably caused from people pranking one another, and somehow the stories got spread and twisted, and the story was nowhere near the original.
So there you go. 2 people here, one believes, one doesn't. So let us know in the comments. Are you a believer, or do you think this is just crazy folklore? I've made over 250 videos, and I've never made a dedication before, but I want to dedicate this video to my dad, Bob Stagg. He's the one who taught me to love the outdoors. And actually, this tattered book, The Jersey Devil, was his book. Thanks, Dad. Love you, and I miss you.